Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Wednesday, October 1st. So we are in the fourth quarter. Can you believe it? It's like 2.5 months to Christmas. 2.5? October, November, December. It is getting freaking close. I'm starting to freak out. I'm starting to have a panic attack. Oh my God. Anyway, so uh, started off, I guess, with a little bit of back and forth. The overnight was a little bit of weakness, a little bit of strength, back and forth. We'll see how it all shakes out here going throughout the day. The news we had this morning, or the news we have coming out this morning, we had mortgage applications way down, actually. The 20% down on the refinance number, that's huge. Composite down 12. So down on the downside. We're getting the GDP report at 8:15. At 9:45, we get a PMI manufacturing number. And 10 o'clock, we get an ISM manufacturing and construction spending numbers. Oil report at 10:30. Yeah, so we got news at 8:15, 9:45, 10, and 10:30. That's about it. So yeah, and then since the government shut down or partial shutdown, I get this. I doubt they're talking about this employment situation not coming out on Friday. So no employment situation on Friday. As far as we know, who knows if they can vote something in by before then. But at this point, the market is still shrugging this whole thing off. We'll see how far if they're going to keep dragging on, if the market is going to have some negative reaction or what's going to happen. But right now, the market is not getting too upset about the shutdown. And to be honest with you, I think the current administration is probably going to take the opportunity to downsize the government. Yes, if you don't have to pay you and nothing's really happening to the overall work output of the government, yeah, why do we have you? You know? So I think that's how exercise is going to start beginning. So we'll see. We'll see how the market fares at this point, though. Starting off range bound, watching this and just kind of paying attention to these lower edges, the 66, 30, and 40s. And the upper edges at the 67, 30s, and 40s there on the upside. So we have a good, like 100-point range we are trading in. And I would say range bound trading in this range right now. Let's see what side they're going to trade this on. And who knows? It may be a sell-off day today. I don't know. It's so far, I mean, the sell-off or the weakness we had early on here, they got reversed right at support, 66.80 held, and they were right back up again. So I would just start off range bound, watch the edges, and then trade it as such. Watch the potential breakouts. So at this point, looking for short setups against the 67.15s, 30s, 40s, up to the 55s. This could be like 45, 40, 40, 45s, and this is 55s. So looking for a short setup all the way up here to that 55 level. Looking to buy weakness at this point against 66.95, the 80s, what is that, 65s, 55s, and that is 66.55, and down to 66, that is 55, down to the 66.35s for rotations back up again. So pretty good range to work with, and we are pretty much in the middle of it, a little bit to the upside, to the upper end of it, but I'm not necessarily going to count on a rally today by any means. It's we had a little pop here going into the overnight, going into the end of the quarter. Nice little rally right up here to the 67.45s, and you can see how we reversed the whole day in the overnight, and then some, and then right back up again to kind of where we were before the little pop. So all that stuff is end of the quarter window dressing, nothing to worry about. So starting off range bound, looking to sell strength, 67.15s. 30s, 40, 45s, 55s for rotations down. That is on the upper edge. Look at the buy weakness, 66.95, 66.80s, 60.65s, 55s down to the 35s for rotations back up again. That's how we get started. And then let's see how the whole thing shakes out as we get through the news and as we hear more about the shutdown and so on and so forth. So I think that they said since we had quite a few shutdowns, so throughout the years. And I guess the big question is who's going to be blamed for it, if anyone. We'll find out. But I think, from what I understand, the asks from the Democrats to keep this going is pretty ludicrous. So they want to put back all these healthcare subsidies and stuff for illegals and all that stuff. All the whole goodie bag they want to have back in there, and that's not going to happen. So it's going to be a standoff. So bond market, range bound, they are not reacting yet. And it's no point to show this is just the same story. They backed off the lower edge, so we are just a few ticks higher. And I would start off range bound, looking to sell strength. At this point against the 26s, this 117s up to the 1706 level. And on the support area, again, I would look to buy against 1614 to 15, the 1608s, 116s, 115.28 for rotations back up. Let's start taking out the last one would be the 115.24 here, but if you start taking out the 116 and the 115.26s, I would start getting worried about the short side at that point. So we'll see how we fare as the day session kicks in on the bonds. But range bound trading on the bonds to get started. On the Nasdaq, also a lot of volatility in the overnight. You can see they ran it all the way down here to that bounce 620 support area. Support, nice little volume edge, bounce of that right back up again. They had a little bit of a rally, not as strong as the ES, but a little bit of a rally going into the close yesterday. So range bound, kind of where we start. So starting off range bound and starting off range bound and looking to fade the edges fairly equally. Upper edge here is like 25,000. Well, they have a three little edge at 970, and then you have a lower edge here at the 560s. So looking to sell strength, 815s, 860s, 900s up to that 970s, even up to the 25,000s. But above the 24,900, I would start thinking about the long side. And look at the buy weakness, 730s, 690s, 640s, 570s down to the 500s, 550s, but all the way down here to the 500 level, I would look to buy weakness down to that ledge right there, 500s. So that's kind of how we get started. Let's see. So that's how we get started on the Nasdaq. Same story there, flat out range bound trading, just to make sure that, and then just to make sure that we get started at one point. There's no reason to lean one side or the other. We'll see how October shapes up here in the next few days. We have a shutdown, which is of course creating some cross currents, but so far the market is not reacting to it. So range bound trading, looking to sell strength up to that 24,900s. That's against the 820s, 860s, 900s, and the 970s. And looking to buy weakness against 730s, 690s, 630s, 570s, and 540s here, and down to the 500s for rotations back up again. So that's how we get started. Fairly straightforward, see how this whole thing shakes out. In a minute, we're going to get the ADP report or ADP data. I'll see how that shakes out too. Gold again, melting higher, 3,900 and counting. These guys this is crazy stuff going on in gold. Can't, at one point they're going to run out. This is still, look at this rally, this little pop we had here from the 3,800, 3,780s, right up here, another couple of $100 to the upside. Crazy volatile. I tried to trade it yesterday, one trade, but that was like a scary experience, how quickly that moves. But anyway, there to the upsides, traded from the long side of the market. Look to buy weakness at this point against the 3905s, 3895s, down to the 3885s for rotations up. Below that London low, I would take off the long buyers and look for retracement. So that's kind of the interesting part. Starting off on capital flow is you favor the long side. Capital flow is to the long side of the market. But on the exchange member chart, it has such volatility that you potentially could get some pretty good moves going on the reversal trades as well as they start pulling back. So pretty good stuff going on there. We just got the ADP number. Bond market is reacting. Haven't seen any news and headlines just yet. So gold trading from the long side of the market, and then finally oil. Weakness on oil. That's interesting. So they're heading down here, testing the lower edges, 6160s. So I would look to sell strength on oil, look for early weakness to see if they can take out that lower edge. But definitely, I thought they're going to test this lower edge in the yesterday session, but that was kind of a dud. They barely got down there. Now they actually tested it, took it out, extended to the 6160s, 70s. And I would start from the short side, looking to sell strength at 62, 62.60s up to that 62 or 63 level. Above 63, we're taking off the long bias, we are back range bound. So we'll see. This could set up a nice retest failure at the 61.60s, but just wait for maybe another retest of that level. And if it holds, could be for the day session a nice retest failure. We're starting off looking from the short side on oil, looking for early weakness and see if they can take it. So on oil, this could be the start of a move lower. We'll see. There's definitely starting. They're definitely moving there. So they were way up there in the upper edge just 3 days ago at the 65s. Now they're down to 61, and as they keep going, we'll see how far they can move that lower. So that is that's oil. But look for that potential retest failure. I haven't taken out the lows yet. And if that 61.60 holds, we could have a nice retest failure setting up there for rotations right back up to 63.64. All right, so that's oil and gold. So gold from the long side, oil from the short side to get started. Back to the ES, and here we have the ADP reaction. I haven't seen any headlines still. Let's see what that can see when it came out here. That's not it. ADP minus 32,000. Ooh. They expected plus 50. They got minus 32. Okay, big miss. So there you go. All right, so interesting. Bond market is reacting pretty violently. The ES and Nasdaq not so much, but a little bit of a reaction. So anyway, so we'll wrap it there for now. We pretty much so ES Nasdaq range bound trading until we start figuring out what's happening here in October. They have oil from the short side, gold from the long side, and the bond market range bound. So that's how we get started this morning. Alrighty, guys, we'll wrap it there, and then we'll see you back at 11:30 for the next update. So good trading, and I will see you guys back then.